Okay. 1 second. We're just waiting for the notification, sir.
I know your process.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. Okay, hold on. Waiting to get the notification. Okay, perfect. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who we are excited to get some information from as well as some inspiration from, and that is none other than the host and the co-ringmaster of Universal Soul Circus, known to many of us as Zeke. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam, beloved.
How are you doing today, sir?
Doing fine. All praises be to the Most High, the Beneficent and the Merciful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We excited. Both of my sisters say peace, Sister Miriam and Sister Naima. Thank you all, everyone, for watching as well.
Return
yes, sir. Well, the first thing we want to know is, how did you get to get into the circus business?
Let's see, how did I get into circus business? I moved into Atlanta 1979, working for this company called Travelers Insurance. I did 10 years with them. Then I started, I did that from 76 to 86. 86 to 96, I started working for myself, meaning I was DJing and hosting different events in Atlanta. You know, Atlanta is the entertainment capital.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I used to DJ in different places and host different events in Atlanta. And I met this gentleman by the name of Mr. Cedric Walker. He was a promoter and also entrepreneur before his time. And he came up with the idea of taking your traditional style circus and putting a little soul flavor to it, or putting a little, African-American flavor to it. And voila, here we are 28 years later. Yes, sir. That was a blessing, yeah. We took the traditional circus, and anything that we as Black folks, anything we touch, we take it to another level. We take it over everything. We take it over everything anyway,
Yes, sir.
So we done took this and put it to another level.
Okay, excellent. And so for someone like me, my mother, my parents, they're all big fans of the circus, my siblings, my nieces and nephews. But for someone like me, I like animals, but I don't like to be up close on them. How did you get over the fear of being around, all of those different animals? How did you handle that?
Well, I didn't like the tigers and the elephants and all that stuff either, but it just, after a while you get used to them. And once you learn their behaviors, I respect them now. I keep my boundaries. Only ones that really deal with the animal up close and personal are the trainers. We have to respect, their turf. I'm gonna tell you the story. One time, this was maybe 5 years into the show. I was walking past the tiger cage because I'm backstage about to come out the curtain. They're lined up to come out the curtain behind us, me and the ringmaster. And I have to walk past them to come through the opening to go center stage. So as I'm walking past them, I feel something on the back of my jacket, which was the little the lion's claw, come through his little cage and snap me on the jacket. So ever since then, I said, you got to be on your P's and Q's. But that was an experience, I think I was a McNugget to him, he was McNugget. You learn to respect, just like anything, you learn to respect your boundaries and stuff like that. And I've been 28 years, nothing never happened. So I've been blessed.
Okay, great. Yes, sir. And where is your favorite place to go and perform? Like, what has been your most exciting place to perform?
We perform basically 28 to 40 cities in the USA. This is ever since 1996. Well, let me backtrack. We started in 1994, the home base at Atlanta, Georgia. We started here. This is the home base for it. 94 and 95, we did about a 1 month show in Atlanta. We kept getting held over, sold out. Came back the following year, 95. Repeated the same thing. We kept getting held over. Remember now, this is the first. People have never seen, African-American owned circus, and our music, our talent, looking in the ring and seeing folks that look just like me and you, doing these absolute abnormal things. And then we came back in '96 and said, let's do a 4-city test city to see if any other city like it, just like Atlanta like it. Atlanta is the mecca of blacks in a lot of positions in Atlanta. So we said, well, let's take it out to other parts of the USA and see if we get the same thing. And we kept getting held over, sold out, held over, sold out. And like I say, here we are 28 years later. But the best city I could say out of all the time, 2001, we went to South Africa. We took the show to South Africa. When folks asked me what's the most highlighted part of being in the show, and I could say the chance to perform for the one and only Mr. Nelson Mandela. That was then. Bringing us up to 2019, had the chance to perform for the one and only, the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That was the highlight there. We performed in Chicago. Mother Khadijah, she would come out every year. The school would come out, the kids would come out, the daughters and the sons, all of them would come out. But very rarely would we see the minister because he would be out of town most of the time that we was in. So last year, well, not 2019. Matter of fact, I sent you the picture of me sitting in the audience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a blessing right there, just to see that, to let him, enjoy himself. But the mission that's on him and the weight that's on him dealing with us, African American people, the weight that's on him for him to be able to just enjoy himself, family environment. The school came out, Muhammad University this time, they came out. It was about 250 of them in there. That was beautiful. That was one of the highlights. That tops the Mandela. And then Mandela tops Rosa Parks. Before that was Rosa Parks. I had a chance to meet Rosa Parks. We were performing in Detroit. I had a chance to meet her, the mother of civil rights. And then, of course, after that, I got a chance to meet Nelson Mandela. Then after that, of course, to perform for the one and only Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Beautiful. Okay, well, yes, sir. Well, how did you get to know who the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was?
How did I get to know? Who don't know who Minister Farrakhan is? Nah. When I was in the nation, I was born into the nation, actually. I was born in 1962. My family moved to Hartford, Connecticut. And then I was born in South Carolina. Then in 1964, we ended up moving to Hartford, Connecticut. And of course, they was in the nation when they came back to get us from South Carolina to move to Connecticut. Some of my family moved to Connecticut. Some of them moved to New York. And we was in the nation. Back then it was called the Temple, the Temple number 14 in Hartford, Connecticut. So we would, that was my first introductory to, of course, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was under his leadership there.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, what happened in 75 and then 76. And then the minister brought it back out, in the 80s.
Okay, great. Well, let's go back to, since you're saying since 1962, what was it like to be around the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that climate of that time period? What was it like to be in the nation?
62, I was 4 years old, so I'm not gonna say 62. I'm not that old now. I said I moved to Connecticut in 1962.
62, okay.
And of course, like I said, I'm 4 years old. They was in the nation at the time. But I'm things that I can remember, this was later on, I said I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, going to Savior's Day. From we get it, load up in the station wagon and take that route from Connecticut and to go to Chicago every Savior's Day to see and hear the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And of course, at that time, Minister Louis Farrakhan was was a national representative. Of course, we would get to hear him. He was in New York at the time also. So some of the broadcasters back then we used to hear it on the radio. So we would hear the national broadcast coming out off the radio thing. And so I got 30, 40 years of him pouring knowledge into me of things of that nature.
Wonderful. That's amazing, sir. Well, what was it like when you got to see Mother Khadijah? What was it like to be around her and speak to her? How was that?
Oh man, it was humbling. Her spirit was, she made me feel comfortable. You know how we idolize human beings, and she just made me feel comfortable to say, she knew that I was in the nation previous. My family was in the nation previous to that. As a matter of fact, let me go back even before that. growing up in Connecticut, my mother's house was like the eating place. 'Cause my mother cooked real well. We did the bean soup, we did the bean pies, we did the carrot cakes. On Saturdays, they would have dinners. The MDTs would have dinners and things of that nature. My mother was short as I am,
Mm.
so she was good at what she did. So anytime the ministers would have different guest ministers come into town, guess whose house they would end up being at to to have a good meal. And back then, I love back then. Back then we had meals from you start out with your salad, go to your soup, go to your dinner, and
Yes, sir.
then of course end it with your dessert. And that was awesome. It was awesome. I got a chance to meet Joe Tex. He was in the Muslim. I forgot his Muslim name. I Cool in the Gang. Ronald Bell and Robert, his brother, they
Yes, sir.
were Muslims. Lenny, not Lenny, Delphonics, brother William, he was in the nation.
Mm.
So many that done came through there.
Okay, great,
It was,
wonderful.
but now getting back to Mother Khadijah, she would come out to how I got to first speak to her, it was after, she ended up coming out to the show. And of course I knew who she was. And let me take it back 5 years before that. We had a chance to go out to the palace to have dinner because we had invited her to, if she wanted to say something to the audience and things of that nature. Then they found out who I was. So they asked me to invite some of the talent to come out to the palace and eat. So we had a chance to, go to the palace and eat, have dinner. And that was the warming up. And then of course I would see her every year. She'd come out to the show. I mean, it was, you know how it is. It's like I had to bow down. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. She make you feel at home. She make you feel special, you know. And to put a smile on her face and her grandkids and her daughters and her son to see them enjoying themselves, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, great. Yes, sir. Um, ha- During your time of not just in the circus, but just in life as a black man in America, coming up through the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then now, has there ever been a time that you were faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Overcome that fear. Uh, well, okay, let me go back. How the fear got out of me was it was just I know everybody probably that's in the nation back then. My karate teacher name was Moses Powell.
Mm.
So if Brother Anthony Muhammad and all them, they were students of his. Okay, back during in the nation, I mean back then at that time, we would take up karate classes and stuff like that. So fear, I didn't really have that fear then because I was confident in myself as far as physical wise, I was confident in that. And of course, coming up in the junior FOI, student enrollment, general order,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the military training that you bring, fear, it just leaves you. You put it into Allah's hand, and you overcome it. So that I can't say too much of a fear. It's natural fear, but you override that. But if you go in with the confidence and the thrill, you're okay.
Excellent. Wonderful. And thank you for your transparency and honesty. And I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience for your sacrifice, sir, and the sacrifices of your family. Can you tell us what is your parents' name? What are your parents' names?
Her mother's name was Sister Minnie, Sister Minnie X. But at that time, they weren't giving out what's his name. And my father's name was Brother James. And of course, we was in, like I say, Temple number 14, which is in Hartford, Connecticut. But then sometimes we would go to Springfield. So when some of them past people that you've been interviewing already, like Captain Shaw, I went through the Captain Shaw era,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. He was a regional captain. Uh, um, Minister Kareem from LA. I'm just trying to name some of the ones that I can remember.
Yes,
Minister
sir.
Haziz. Minister Haziz was our minister. Minister Nuruddin Faiz was a minister. Um, our first minister was Minister George 3X. That was Temple 14. Every now and then we would go up to Springfield. which was like maybe 45 minutes to an hour away. I would go to school up there sometimes. We also had a Muhammad University, and I am a graduate of Muhammad Sister Clara. Back then, it was called Sister Clara Muhammad University. I'm a graduate of that. I graduated in '76. That was the year after the message had passed, and I'm a graduate of that. So I'm an alumni of that. So that was in what '76, as I said.
Wonderful. Yes, sir.
That,
Okay.
that was my diploma.
Yes, sir. And well, who are some of the people that inspired you? Who do you emulate when you are doing such a marvelous job of being a host and a ringmaster? Who are some of the people that you studied to help give you your your charisma or your swagger?
uh, well, we was the first, so we laid the blueprint. There's
Mm,
nobody I can really say that I would um, um, master myself after, cater myself after. Like I said, it was myself and another guy, Casual Cal. We were the ringmasters at the beginning. So we would feed off each other. We were friends before the circus. So we were, like I said, we was laying the blueprint. So we was like a first. So I couldn't say I'm gonna look at that person and emulate after him. But remember, before that, I was also a host and a DJ. So I'm used
mm.
to being in front of people. And of course, being my size, when I walk outside, I'm automatically a sense of attention. So for 63 years, I didn't mean to tell my age, but for 63 years, I know that when I step out, I'm out of the ordinary, as they call it. They say all eyes on me or most eyes on me. So I'm used to that part there. That's not a thing. But
Yes,
you
sir.
know,
Okay, I mean, but speaking of that, what advice would you give to people who all eyes are on them, as far as just saying positive and being productive? What advice would you give to them?
it's all about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. And Allah has blessed me to wake up every day and showcase the talent that I have. Um, it's the drive that you have in you, the security you secure within yourself. You don't let no outside, negative control you. You are the master of your destiny. Anything you put your mind to, you can. If you can perceive it, achieve it, and believe it, you can achieve. And I keep that attitude up front. And I don't worry about what other folks say. They have to run their life. I run my life. This is between me and my creator. And I might be put here for a special reason. So I'm just fulfilling, walking my path, as they say.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just walking my path. And if I could be a shining light to any other inspiration, that's a blessing too. And let me go back to another thing as far as the circus wise. We was in Detroit, about 20 years ago, and this mute child had spoke for the first time. I'm coming out of the curtain, and the mute child had uttered words he haven't spoken in like 8 years, and his parents was in tears and things like that. So you never know how you inspire people. We did a big write up about it a while back, but that's why I say if I might be here for a different reason, yeah, I might be here for that specific reason. You don't know why you're put on this earth, and that was one blessing right there, just how you can influence people just by your presence. I use those many different ways.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Excellent, excellent. And so many people are giving you comments. Brother Tyler saying, "Praise be to Allah. He's real." Thank you, Sister Naima, and thank everyone who's watching. So many people are liking. Please like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Speaking of that, where can people see you on social media in the meantime while you are on tour? Can they find you on Facebook, Twitter, website? Where can we find you?
At the moment, the Soul Circus itself, we're on hiatus because of the pandemic. So you can keep up with our website, www.universalcircus.com. That is that for the circus. My website is at Sidekick Zeke, SIDEKICK, at Sidekick Zeke. That's for Instagram and uh, Facebook.
Okay, wonderful. Yes,
Yes.
sir. And we have a few. My sister Miriam says very inspiring. We have a few more questions for you, sir. But before we keep going, I would like to give us a quick 60-second commercial break to all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. We are so excited and grateful for you all. If you all like to be a sponsor or donor of the People's Podcast, it is you all who keep us going. And with that, hold on one second, sir. With that, that's Cash App, the People's Podcast. A lot of people are getting their as they refer to as STEMIs or their stimulus checks. So if y'all want to support, you know what I'm saying, if y'all want to get paid and throw down, we are definitely appreciative of that. My brother Rashad, Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does an excellent job of film and television editing. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Make sure we go out and get those. My sister Naima, Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. We love our tiny dancers. Nations Auto Sales, LLC, out of St. Louis, Missouri. Our brother does a great job of shipping cars and trucks and vehicles all across the country. Engineers of Tomorrow, LLC, a STEM preschool out of Dallas, Texas, that is making young kings, queens, and gods. Engineers of Tomorrow, LLC, a STEM preschool. MTS Car Bros, any make, any model, any year, out of Los Angeles, California, 30 to 50% off. They do a great job of shipping vehicles as well. Brother Kenneth, bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Also, Hip Hop Detox, which is they empowers the youth and young adults towards healthy lifestyle choices and a productive way of life. Brother Enoch, thank you very much. Sister Latasha, out of Indianapolis, Indiana, Queen Design Poetry and Apparel. Queen Design Poetry and Apparel. Make sure we reach out and go support our sister Latasha. We're coming right back to you, Brother Zeke.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Sister Kanika Yakub, CBD Moms Company. She does a great job of having CBD infused self-care line for health and healing purposes. Thank you very much, Sister Kanika Yakub. Great job. My Letter A book by Sister Landra El Muhammad. My Letter A book by Sister Landra El Muhammad. It is a children's book. Make sure we go out there and get that and support our Sister Landra El Muhammad. Dr. Henry M. Carter, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. King Henry's Turkey Legs. Thank you very much, sir. Brother Rashad Muhammad, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Service in Chicago, Illinois. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. Last but not least, my two books, which are a children's book, Cleopatra and No Father, No Excuse. Thank you all very much. We're coming right back to our brother Zeke. If you all like to be a sponsor or donor, please cash app the People's Podcast. And also, it was brother Zeke who messaged me on Facebook. That's how we got connected, and informed me of who he was and the great history that he had been. If you all would like to be a guest on the People's Podcast or no guest, please reach out to me via social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Okay, sir. My next question for you is...
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Why you doing this? I just want to say I'm very, 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 very proud of you, my brother.
Oh,
I've been there today. You have 4 sponsors. Now you always have 24 sponsors. That's the work that you are doing, and I just want to give the roses while you're on this side. But thank you, and just keep doing what you're doing. Okay, now back to what you said.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And speaking of that, I never got to see you live. My sisters rave about you. My mother always spoke highly of you, and my dad would get like frustrated with me. He'd be like, "Josh, we going to Universal Soul Circus. You gotta go." But I just me and the animals. It was a thing. It was a situation.
I know it's hard. But it's hard for us to catch. I guess what y'all call it, your age range, right? We get the young ones, we get the older ones, but y'all knuckleheads here. Y'all think the circus is corny, right? But the circus is not corny. You know anything? We got it. We got old school music, new school music, world-class performers, light, sound. I mean, we got all of that.
Yes, sir.
Don't let that stop you.
Absolutely. But what I wanted to say is, how can I'm such an uncle now? I don't have children of my own, but I just want to be a cool uncle. When is the next time we're going to be able to see you? Do you all have any projected dates or anything that we can know? Because I got to take my nieces and nephews to see you.
Well, you right here in Atlanta, Georgia. This is hometown. I will hit you directly. I will hit you directly to let you know. But for everybody else, like I said, keep up with our website, www.universalcircus.com. It'll give you all of the dates that'll be coming up. We've been on hiatus since last March the 15th when they shut the country down. So we're just making sure that everything is safe before we go back out. We've been blessed. None of our talent have caught this crazy disease. So we're just making sure everything is safe before we go back out. We're tentative. we're looking at maybe midsummer. So look, midsummer just started going to the website and seeing what the dates are for the cities that's going to be coming up. But Atlanta's hometown, so we have to bring it back here.
Okay, great.
I'm not saying it's a kickoff, but we will be performing here. We perform here every year.
Okay, excellent. My sisters are giving you nothing but love. Thank you to love it. My sisters are saying they enjoy it. They can't wait. Naima wants to know, do you still DJ?
No, I don't DJ. I don't DJ because this keeps me busy. I'm traveling 20 years. Not 20 years. I travel 20 cities. We perform maybe 46 weeks out of the year. Get a 5-week break. So that 5 weeks is just relaxation and not being around people, because we perform for about 2,000 people per show. We perform about 1 million people all year. And like I said, it's over 10,000 miles I travel, 46 weeks out of the year. And I've been doing it 28 years. So, I'm not DJing no more.
Okay.
I hear music all day. So what I get by downtime, I'm mostly, reading, studying, or doing something on the quiet style, as they say, take a walk on the lake or something like that, just get from around people. And that's just to, bring myself back down. But like I said, I'm always performing in front of people. So my energy is always up. So sometimes I just want that downtime and, just me and my world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I like to travel a lot to Florida. I've been to Wisconsin Dells, Las Vegas. Some of the places, these are the places that bring me peace. What is a place that you like to travel to when you're not working? It just, just makes you happy.
Really, I don't like to travel too much because I'm traveling all year.
Okay.
But outside of work, I've been to the Bahamas before. Yeah, I could say that. Freeport, I've been there. That was wonderful. I can make tranquility no matter where I'm at, but if I have to take a place, I'll say that of all the places. And of course, I have to go back to South Africa. But when I went before, I went there work-wise. But we had 1 week of just relaxation, and then we did 3 weeks of a show. So we was there for a month. It was Mr. Mandela's birthday. That's what brought us over there. And how that came up was in 2000, Winnie Mandela was in New York visiting for whatever reason. She came out to the show, found out that we had some people from South Africa there. And when she came to the show, she said, y'all have to bring this to the motherland. You have to bring this, she called it home. She said, y'all have to bring this home. So the Nelson Mandela Foundation, along with South African Airlines, they sponsored us the following year, which is 2001. So we took it over there in July. We took a summer break here. We took it to South Africa in July and performed for the one and only Mr. Nelson Mandela, along with our South African brothers and sisters. It was a blessing. It was a blessing.
Okay, excellent. What do you do for fun, sir?
What do I do for fun? What do I do for fun? My life is fun. So let's see, what do I do for fun? My life is fun. I mean, it can't get no better than that. Putting smiles on people's faces. Well, I ride my bike. Just to go out. Like I say, just to be in peace. That to me, and that downtime. Like I said, I'm always up for show. Even when I'm in the regular walking around in the public and stuff, somebody in the audience is gonna know me. Somebody want to take a picture. So you run into all of that. With fame comes this other little stuff too. So, yes, but I'm humble for that, and I appreciate it. I never turn nobody down. But I'm real too. And sometimes I just want my downtime. So I'll get on my bike, go ride off someplace. I could call it that. To be home, I live by myself. So to be home, doing my own little private studies. That's it. I'm starting this new business called Rapid Waiters, delivery service for food. I'm starting that. So okay. That's my thrill now. That's what I said.
Excellent. Well, since you're around music all the time, and because I always ask my artists, the guests about what their favorite artists are and their favorite albums, but you being a former DJ and someone who's around music all of the time, what type of music do you like to listen to?
I'm old school. I don't know about the new school stuff, but
okay.
As a matter of fact, new school is sampling the old school. So I'm one of the old school people that, nice, make sense music, give it a good feeling. We play a lot of good stuff in the show also. And when that feeling get into you and you move and you clap your hand, popping your fingers, put a smile on your face, it is wonderful. I would say old school music.
Okay, old school music. Any artist in particular? So it's like Earth, Wind and Fire, Frankie Beverly Mays. Where we going? How old school we going?
Frankie Beverly. He's our montage in the show. I got to go with Frankie Beverly. He's been doing this thing for 50 something years almost, and he's still relevant. He don't have to make no new music.
Yes,
Every
sir,
show,
yes,
if you go to his show, every show is sold out, and he haven't came out with a record in 40 years. But that just showed you how his library is of good classic, never get old music. You can play his stuff 40 years ago, and you can play it today, and it's still relevant.
Beautiful. Okay, yes, sir. How have you kept your faith through all of these years? And what advice would you give to the future generations on just, having faith?
Well, I know for one thing, I know for this body here to still be performing and doing what it's doing, there has to be a higher force. There has to be somebody that's overlooking all of this. And to be able to, put a smile on my face, affect people in different ways, inspire people, pour knowledge into people, it's a blessing. And I know there's a bigger force than me that's doing this. So I just keep my faith, keep one feet in front of the other feet, and just keep on moving.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Will you ever write a book about your personal life?
Oh, that's coming. Yes, that is coming. I don't want to write the book because then if I write the book, that means it's the end of the chapter. And I don't want there's no end of this chapter yet. But I know out of all the experience I done had between the circus and my other experiences, and a lot of people ask me about it. So I know that a book is coming. If they made a bobblehead of me, I gotta put a book. I gotta put a book out. The book will be coming, but that'll come in due time. I don't want to keep revising it because as time go on, you learning more things and more things and more things. Unless there's a volume 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'll be happy just with the first volume, and hopefully there's enough interest in it to acquire that. But like I said, you got to pass this knowledge on, and your generation, y'all have the torch now, and y'all take that torch and y'all do wonderful things with it. This generation will eventually die out, but we know it's in good hands. If it's for the million brothers like you, if it's a million brothers and sisters like you, we know it's in good hands. We turn it over, and y'all will run with it to nonstop.
Beautiful, sir. What would you like your legacy to be?
My legacy is that he inspired people, his kindness, his gratitude, his humbleness. He wanted for the brother what he wanted for himself. And when I say brother, I mean brother and sister.
Yes, sir.
He wanted for humanity what he wanted for himself. He was just a good-hearted person. Too much is given, much is expected. And you pass this on, and you just hope that the next generation take it a step further than what you did. I'm just doing my part in this moment. Then I pass this on and let them run it, put it to the next. I'm picking it up from somebody else and taking it as far as I could take it. And then I just pass it on to the next generation or inspire the next generation. Like I say, you never know, that one little spark could be, you could be off and running.
Beautiful. Well, I want to thank you very much again for coming on the People's Podcast, sir. This means so much to me, my family, and the viewing audience. I want to thank everybody who's watching. Please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you very much.